Welcome to another episode of GigFaster TV. I'm Craig Kelley from GigFaster.com, and today we're going to ask the question, is it time to quit music? Well, welcome back. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications of new episodes. And also if you're listening through the podcast, you can go to YouTube and watch this episode. It airs a little bit at a different time, so you'll get an email. I'll send you an email. Make sure you're on the list. Anyway, today we're going to ask this question, is it time to quit music? And, honestly, I don't know. Have you asked yourself that question? I've asked myself because it's been a big part of my life for a long time. And honestly, it could cause a lot of stress. So, music is beautiful and it's such a great gift. And I think everybody should play a musical instrument. Even if you think you have no musical talent, get an acoustic guitar and just learn. If you learn 3 chords, you can play tons and tons of songs. And I just think it brings a lot. It can bring a lot of joy to you and other people too. You never know. You might have a gift you just didn't know. Like Jack Johnson started off as a professional surfboarder, and his music's great, and he's blessed a lot of people with it. So that could be you just as well. So, but there's going to come to a point, like if you are like me and you were 110% in, and it's just all you wanted to do. It's all you ate, you lived, you breathed. You just wanted to do music full time, and you wanted to be a rock star, pop star, rap star, country star, whatever kind of star. That's what you wanted. You wanted to tour the world. There might be a point where you need to ask yourself, do I want to quit? Have I had enough? And if you guys have been listening to me for a long time, one of the things I say is if you persist, if you don't quit, you will succeed. And success in itself is that, it's defined differently for everybody. What does success mean to you? $1 million in your bank account? A full-time job, like playing music full-time, making enough money to live full-time. It could be anything, It could be, hey, a gig. I got a gig. Success, But failure is defined the same 100% of the time for everybody. And that is not reaching your goal. So if you don't quit, there's all kind of levels of success that you could have. But if you do quit, everybody has the same failure. So the question is, should you quit music? And, I've asked myself this, and it's really a hard question. Like if you have devoted most of your life to pursuing a career in music, and, like most businesses, 4 out of 5 are going to fail. And music, as I say, is a business, and you have a product. The product isn't just your music. It's your image, it's your social media, it's your how many times you're performing. It's your electronic press kit, EPK. It's all these things. And it is a business. Now most fail. But the interesting thing about businesses that fail and musicians who fail is that the reason they fail is not because of anybody saying no. It's that can be a cause of it, but it's because they quit. We see the Rolling Stones, the Bon Jovis, the Post Malones, the Drakes, and now Travis Scott, like Taylor Swift's. We see these people, we see the 1%, and that's inspiring. We say that's success. But quite honestly, what do they have that you don't already have right now? Well, they might have like tons of money, and they might be have tons of fans, and they might be able to perform any place they want right now. But you can, what do you need the money for? Why do you need the fans, and why do you need to perform anywhere? You can perform, you can get the same enjoyment out of it without the extreme of it. That's a building up of success. So you can get success on different levels. We see that 1%, and it should be inspiring. It definitely is inspiring, but that doesn't mean that you need to be 1%. You can be your goal, you're like big target, but the rest of it is you working up to that, and you can have success with that. So 4 out of 5 people are going to fail in business and music, but that doesn't have to be you if you don't quit. But should you quit? I'm kind of going in circles here. I mean, for me personally, I just kind of recently came to like a peace with myself about this, because I thought, I don't know, everything I did was the thought of, how does this fit into my plan for music? And I got to the point of like where for me it's like, what do you want to do with your music? Like, do you still want you still want to tour the world and do all these things? Because really, you could do that as an independent artist. But that aside, like thinking of that 1%, still trying to get to that 1%, climb up to get to that 1%. And I thought, I'm stressing myself out for no reason at all. Music is a gift, and it's meant to be enjoyed, to be shared with other people. And the whole time, I mean, I've wanted to do that, but like, I don't know. I just, it stopped being enjoyable to me like that. It was too much of work, too much. And it can be work if it's, a career and all that. That's fine. But, it's, you do it. Why did you start? Because you love it, and it's fun, and you want to play for people. And, it's just, the rush of being on the stage, booking gigs, and, doing all that. So for me, I decided I am not going to pursue it professionally like I did before. And it's like, the question is now, is it a hobby or pro? And like, I'm at the point right now that I think that that's fine. I could say, I'm a musician, and it's fun. It's all good. Who cares if it's a hobby, if you're going pro, like full time like that, I want to enjoy it more than anything. It's a gift, and that's what I'm doing. So maybe it's just a hobby for you, and that's great. You know, like I say, I think everybody should have a guitar. I think every guy could pick a guitar up, a girl pick up a guitar, and learn some songs to get some serious enjoyment, and it actually brings some joy to you, and relieves some stress. So I came up with 7 questions that I thought, to ask you, like, what is your commitment to music? Number 1, am I willing to sacrifice to make a living in music? Because there will be sacrifice, like anything else. The interesting thing about music is, like, you can like get a job as a music teacher, but I'm really talking about like people who want to perform. They want to perform full time and all that stuff. So are you willing to sacrifice to make a living in music? You could, I mean, I knew one of the things I could have done is been in like a tribute band or a cover band that like clubs, they just love that stuff. You know, you could do that full time. There were other bands like that are on the circuit whenever I was really playing a lot. We were more trying to be more original. They were just doing the cover thing because they knew it brought in money, and they were all making a living on it, a good living. So you can do that. So, but I mean, you got to be willing to sacrifice. You know, you're gonna, family and all that other stuff. So, number 2, can I commit to being the 1 in 100 band / artist that doesn't quit? Like I say, everybody quits. That's the one thing you can guarantee. All these other bands that you're competing with right now, all these other rappers, hip hop artists, country guys, pop guys, they're all going to quit. Everybody quits. I don't quit. It took me a long time to finally say, you know what? I'm going to help other people because I'm at the point in my life, I have family, kids, and I don't know, like maybe at some point I'm going to switch that again, playing the show with Kenny Wayne Shepherd in front of a sold out audience recently, like, last couple of years, it was just, you could get used to that. That was pretty cool, so, but at this point I couldn't just pick up and go on a tour, it'd be, I don't know. I just don't want to do it right now, so that's my personal thing. So now, number 3, can I commit to booking gigs at least 3 times a week? Like, if you are serious about your music, then you really need to be doing things every day. Like I said before, you need to be writing music every day. You need to be trying to book gigs at least 3 times a week. Number 4, am I promoting my music at least 3 times a week on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, sending stuff to music blogs and reviewers, trying to get press, trying to get people talking about me. You get a couple people talking about you, then use that on your electronic press kit. And now other people, like, you give them something to talk about. Like, hey, they were already talked about here. Okay, it's that social proof type of thing. So, number 5, I got for you. Can I commit to writing new songs every day? We just talked about that in a previous video / podcast. You write every day. You need to be committed to doing that. And this is what's interesting. When I was studying classical guitar and jazz guitar in college, my guitar professor, he asked me, do you know what the difference between an amateur and a professional guitarist is? He just said basically amateur and professional. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's easy. A pro gets paid. Amateur doesn't get paid. And he's like, well, that's true. He said, but really the difference is an amateur will practice something until he gets it right once. Okay, yeah, cool. I got it right. A pro will practice until he can't get it wrong. In other words, he knows it's second nature. It's always going to be right. That's a pro. So are you committed to practicing until you can't get it wrong? Okay, that's a good one. Number 7, can I commit to reaching out to record labels 3 times a week? It seems extreme, but you know what? It's like 99 out of 100 times bands that are going to quit. You're going to get tons and tons and tons of no's. That's just life. You realize you're selling yourself. You're selling your product, which is you, your band. That whole package. You're selling that. And any good salesman knows that it's a numbers game. You got to take a bunch of no's before you get a yes, and it's for the thick skin because, you take it personally because you've written songs. It's you're trying to sell. You're not trying to sell some widget from company ABC. It's you. So it's very personal, but you got to be reaching out to record labels and if anything, you're going to get feedback, so you can say like, okay, if the smart people take that feedback and be like, okay, I'll do that. All right, I did that. Now what? Like, and they're like, wow, yeah, man, they really did. Okay, well, now I work on this. And it's like, okay, I did it. Now what? It's like, before you know it, you're like a Taylor Swift. She started when she was so young. They just kept saying, no, you're not ready yet. Do this, do this, do this. And she did it all. Well, heck, look at her now. She's the 1%, because she never quit. And she did all these things that she was supposed to do without giving up. You can't quit. And obviously, I've said it a million times, people, that's the number one reason why people fail, is because they just give up. There's a story about the start of the gold rush, that there was a corporation, a big corporation, that had like millions of dollars in people's investments. And this is like way, way back. So it's a lot of money. And they dug and dug and dug because they were sure there was gold, and they didn't get any. Went back to the investors, got more money, like another $1 million or something. No gold. And they went back a third time, and they kept digging. No gold. So then we went back again, and they're like, we're done. We've invested, we tried, we quit. Okay, so there were a group of brothers, I don't know, something story like that. It was like 2 or 3 of them, and they're like, all right, we're selling the whole site. They've already excavated this, all the equipment, everything they had, and they sold it for next to nothing to these guys, because they're like, yeah, we'll try, And within 3 feet, these guys hit gold and started the whole gold rush. Now, who's to say that next record label that you contact, next music blog, you contact, or the next venue, or, I stick to those 3 things because the main things here, they're going to turn around and be like, okay, let's do it. Like, you just don't know what's around the corner, so you can't quit. Never quit. I'm Craig from GigFaster. Thanks for listening. I hope you are committed to your music and you don't quit. And even if it's just a hobby, like, you can do these things and, experience the joy of playing and performing music, and just never quit. Now, I created GigFaster to help dedicated musicians and bands and artists that are trying to take their music to the next level. I know you guys work hard. I know you write your faces off. I know you perform a lot. Try to perform a lot. I know that you really want to be that 1%, and that's why I created GigFaster, to give you an opportunity to submit to venues, to music blogs, and to record labels, to get feedback, to get gigs, to book gigs, and to get your music promoted. So be sure to check that out. You can start a free trial. There's no obligation there. And if you have any questions, hit me up. Let me know. I'd be happy to talk with you about this. So until next time, I'm Craig Kelley from GigFaster.